that's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're a member of the grand old party. They're right-wing. They are Republicans. That's an accurate, and any taint on that word they've earned.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I don't want to fuel hate with it. You know, conservatives and liberals alike can agree, you know, on a lot of things. My least favorite word is the racist N-word.
Mm-hmm.
It's the hateful N-word.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, it's part of the language.
Yes.
Do you think I'm crazy already? I'm doing all
No,
these antics.
I don't think so. I think of Lenny Bruce using nigger and other slangs for minorities for the shock value, and he used them over and over again until they got to lose their power of shock.
Do you think he accomplished that?
He did in his routine.
What do you think? Was it a good thing? What he did? I never saw it. I've seen a few
Lenny
of his
Bruce
routines.
he was pretty amazing. I think in some ways familiarity of something that's offensive deadens the shock of it and the offensiveness of it.
One thing I never saw him do was try and I never saw him use it in an abusive way.
No, he was showing that if you continue to use it, it loses that punch.
Right, but you think that he did it kind of for the shock value a little bit to decrease the
Yes.
overall level.
Yes.
Did he ever try and break the bonds of race and the word? And I'll say it, the racist N-word. To me, the word nigger means human, and it's separate from the hateful N-word, because the hateful N-word's almost too much to bear.
Yeah. We all come from Africa.
Yes.
If you go back far enough.
And we're not, and just because we came from Africa doesn't mean we're black or African American. We can recognize those differences and celebrate them. But yes, I'm very much from Africa, and all the parts that I care about myself evolved in Africa. My heart and my brain and my...
Standing upright.
Yes, and my frontal lobes in this empty head of mine. And so I look at Lenny Bruce as somebody that addressed the word and may have laid some cobblestones on this path, but I still think of myself as a trailblazer. And you still don't offend easily. Nothing's changed?
No, nothing's changed.
My name is Mr. Nigger. My middle name is Radical Fuck Censorship Super Nigger.
Oh, good.
And I want to make the word nigger, I want to do what I call niggering of the N-word. I want to make it mean human, so that it applies equally to every person regardless of race and regardless of abuse. So you can say bad things about human nature and about personhood, but if I am successful, then we're joined with the bonds of niggerhood, which I think of as akin to brotherhood. And humanity contains only niggers. And that this is something, this is not a cause for concern, that we all are this, but instead celebration and hopefully a triumphant, beautiful event of pride, if that makes sense. What do you think?
Well, I'm reminded of the Japanese man who changed his name to Fuck.
Who was that?
Yeah.
Well, it was Fuck. That's who did it.
That's who did it. And
why?
He changed his name legally. I think for the reason that some of the reasons that we talked about before, taking the shock
to remove
away
the shock
from it and make it something that you can just live with.
I like that. Now I want to remove the shock from nigger, but it's not the only thing I want to remove from it. Because you can remove shock without removing racism or abuse from a term. And I don't think you ever get to defeat racism or abuse. I think
Maybe
those
over
things,
time.
maybe over...
With the kids.
Yeah, if you treat people right in your life, you can. But I think for one word we can make a stand and say this word now is unrelated to race and abuse. And we share this. So I always ask my interview subjects if they'll join me, because I'm a proud nigger. It's what I self-identify as and what I am. And so the last interview subject I talked to said, one world, one nigger. And that was
a good one.
Another person has said, good luck to niggerists. And I think of myself as a person who niggers words. You take slurs, you find the worst of them, and you nigger them so that they are better.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was proud to be a teenage nigger.
Proud to be a teenage nigger.
That's where I hung out.
and separate from race, can you
Yeah.
see in this new fashion anything else that you can say that's positive? See, as a teenager, I was not a nigger, so I want to join you in something.
All right.
Will you join the universal niggerhood?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's say something positive to the universal niggerhood of the world. Because there are other niggerers out there. There are niggerists working on this word together in conjunction with me.
Mm-hmm.
And right now the society is unawares.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to become aware in the most polite of fashions, and yet an enthusiastic one.
Okay, let's all work together.
Let's work together
as brothers and niggers.
as brothers. For the two of us, maybe on three, we could say, join the universal niggerhood.
Absolutely.
All right, so I will say it 1, 2, 3. Join the universal niggerhood. Let's do it another take. Let's do it another take. Hi YouTube. We have a request for you. Please join the universal niggerhood. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you, sir. And hey, let's do what. I'm proud to be a nigger. Mm-hmm. Maybe that one. Mm-hmm. Let's try that one, and maybe it'll roll off the tongue a little better.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3. I'm proud to be a nigger. Cheers, everybody. Goodbye. If you don't mind, we're going to do a follow-up. No. Relax. Yeah. It's okay. So what happened to Lenny Bruce?
Lenny Bruce was persecuted and hounded and went to trial in, I believe it was Burbank, or out in the valley anyway.
California.
In California, and for being obscene. And to keep the photographers from taking pictures of him, he did kind of what you did, except he wrote shit and fuck and cunt and all on his face.
Oh, wow.
So they wouldn't take pictures of him.
So that's not what I've done at all.
That isn't what you've done.
You're saying.
But
Yeah.
he's made a statement on his face.
Yeah.
And he was persecuted to death, in my opinion.
One thing that I know and I've heard from a lot of people is that his stand-up got worse over time.
It did.
Because of the persecution and because of the endless
trials.
Complaints too. I think that it wasn't just the trials like, oh, I've got to go do this. It's also like he cared about the people that hated him because they didn't understand it.
They didn't get it. They didn't get what he was doing. They couldn't get
That's
past.
disastrous news.
Yeah.
That's the worst news I've ever heard because I don't. Okay, let me also say, and this is, I should ask you more about Lenny Bruce because it's an interview and you know him better than I do, right? As far as I know, he's just a comic from a bygone era. I've not watched much of his stuff. I've watched more Eddie Murphy than I've watched of him. But I don't want to, however much respect I give to Lenny Bruce, or to Man Woman, or to Richard Pryor, I don't want to be hounded out of integrity and out of a mood of funness. I don't want to feel entitled to a good time, but I do want to have one. So what can be done? You know what I mean?
Well, it's changed through time. Dustin Hoffman did a pretty good movie on Lenny, and it's worth seeing.
What's the name of it? I'll watch it.
I think it's called Lenny.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Can you remember anything else about him? Or what about Richard Pryor? Do you remember at the end of his career? Initially, I think he joined Lenny Bruce in the idea that you could cut down the offense and the shock of it.
I don't know if Lenny ever got to that
Are
point.
they different
Yeah, it's
eras?
a different apples and oranges. Still humor, but...
It is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give a scan past some of these items down here while we just chat, and then I'm probably going to take my leave and thank you for your time.
Yeah.
I do think that I can get this accomplished, but I don't... See, that's what happened to Lenny, is he became legalistic. And
well,
I
the
think...
stress and pressure.
I think that made him boring.
Yeah, you talked about the trial in the end. He lost the edge.
what are we going to do? I can't become boring. I don't want to. I mean, I don't care too much if a single person finds me boring, but I don't want to live a boring life for myself.
Well, we have to just keep doing it, and over time things change. They don't change at the rate of speed that we all want, but they do change.
And they get better.
Hopefully. There's ups and downs. I think we've been in a bit of a down, and we're heading back up.
It's true. All right, niggers, stay strong. We're heading out. Peace, guys. Bye.